The old dog and I put out on a day that was cool as the sun was dropping. It was about an hour above the Montana horizon. This was a special spot. Last year, he and I moved 16 coveys of Huns and Sharptails in the alfalfa fields along the creek and below the hills that rose up out of the creek bottom. He moved slower now, but still watched me and bounced around and woofed at me to get me to hurry up. All he needed was for me to take a step in the direction I wanted to go, and he would move out, nose up, quartering in the wind, searching for the scent of whatever game bird this particular piece of country had to offer. 10 seasons, almost 40 trips, tens of thousands of miles driven, added up to a wise old bird dog that had seen and done it all. As a young dog, he was blazing fast. He never outran his nose, and he was all business. In NASTRA trials, he would make an initial cast and loop back around to me as I left the start line. Many times the judge would make the mistake of staying with me instead of going after the brown blur off the line. After a minute, with him still gone, I'd tell the judge, "You'd better go find him. If he's not back by now, he's on point." Sure enough, I'd watch the judge head out and eventually raise his hand. "Point," the judge would yell, and I'd hustle to get to my big Brittany. Now, he wasn't so fast, but the heart was just as big, and the desire to please me was just as intense. We left the truck and the howling dogs still in their kennels, and I stepped into the knee-deep alfalfa, watching the old dog work the wind. It didn't take him long before his head came up, and the movement became precise and calculated to put that nose right in the middle of the scent cone. A few minor adjustments, and he froze. The point lacked the quivering intensity of past years, and perhaps some of the style, but the nose was deadly, and the knowledge of how to treat these birds was still spot on. A single bird got up, and the old boy watched it fall, put it in my hand. A stroke on the head and a drink of water, and a good boy, and he was off again, quartering the wind, checking objectives, and glancing at me, so quickly it was hard to discern, to stay in front. Another half a mile of this, and another bird in the bag. I gave him a long wail and a whistle to call him in, and we took a break and sat together on the top of a levee. We shared some water, and he allowed as to how I was shooting pretty good today. I accepted the praise gratefully, knowing he's seen quite the opposite many times. I took off my beat-up hat and thanked God for this old dog and the time I was allowed to hunt with him. We are reminded in the book that life is nothing more than a vapor in a strong wind, and it's over in a flash. That wind blows so much stronger regarding the short lives of our hunting dogs. It seems a cruel joke on us that we love our dogs so much and their lives are so short. I struggle to my feet, using the old double gun like a crutch, as the dog takes off into the wind once more. He's slowed up considerably and limped constantly now, but he knew where he wanted to go to find birds. It pained me to watch him with the swollen elbow and the lack of grace he had in abundance as a younger dog. Almost to the truck, at the end of the last field, he turned and locked up once again. Breathing hard, I could see he was tiring. The thought crossed my mind that this may be his last hunt. I quickly discarded the notion. No, surely he's got a few years left in him, and quickly walked to where he showed me the bird was hiding. The big Sharpie got up, and I unloaded both barrels on him, managing to hit him but not knock him down. He glided through some trees and into the field below as I lost sight of him. Ace watched him too, and glared at me before trotting down the hill, through the trees, and out into the next field. I quickly followed, not willing to be chastised again by the old campaigner for not keeping up. His nose picked up the scent and he went straight to the bird. He brought it to me this time. He set it down on the ground and dropped down next to it. It was the last bird he would retrieve. He's fading fast now, 3 weeks later. We took him to the university vet school to see if there was anything to be done. The doctors called and said there was no hope. The cancer was too far gone. I said, make him comfortable. I'm coming to take him home. They let him walk out from the back. He saw me and his tail started wagging. He kind of staggered to me. Where you been, boss? He said. As I wrote this, he walked into my den and lay down at the foot of my desk. The drug patch for pain meds on his side and his shaved leg and bandaged other front leg, all a testament to his last day in the hospital. He was in his spot, I was in mine. I sat on the floor next to him, took his head in my lap. He gave me a huge sigh. I'm tired, he said. I love you, boss. I love you too, Ace. We're a good team. His tail thumped the floor, and I cried. NASCAR champion, Julia's Flyboy Ace, March 10th, 2005 to October 5th, 2015. You know, it's funny. I talk to people about these books occasionally, and I tell them that, these are just true stories of me and my hunting around the country. And I always tell them to be really, really careful about chapter 7 in the first book, because that's it's a it's the only story, I promise, in the books that just cracks me up, and that's the last hunt I had with my dog Ace. And so there may be some other stuff in there that you really like. That's the one that always just, it's a tearjerker for me. And I tell people that I wrote it and I still can't read it, because so taking kind of a gamble, I guess, doing that in a video. But I just wanted to give you an example of some of the stuff that's in these books. This is the first one, Endless October, and that's the one, chapter 7, I just read out of that. It's about my dog Ace and me. And so this one came out in 2019, and then the follow-up, Endless October Season 2, came out in 2020. So they're both on Amazon, and I encourage you to go there. I would also ask you to go to my blog, which is abirdhuntersthoughts.com, and go to on the landing page on the right hand side. You'll see a link to the books, and if you click that, then that will take you right to them, and you can buy them on Amazon, and you can get either paperback or Kindle or Audible books, and I recorded them both myself. So if you do it pretty quick, you can get them here in time for Christmas and give them to that favorite bird hunter of yours, or wannabe bird hunter, or buy several copies, give them out for Christmas. I appreciate you for watching this entire video, and remember to always try to be the man your bird dog thinks you are.